I want to ask you a question. What are these people looking at? What is this guy looking at as he has his hands on this wagon wheel? What are these people, what are they looking at as they stand above a bridge, right, looking at something? And then what do you suppose all of these people are craning their necks, lifting each other up to see? What are they looking at? Or these people? Now I'm going to tell you, the photographs that I'm about to show you right now, they deserve a disclaimer because they depict some of the bleakest examples of racial violence and dehumanization in the history of humankind. And I'm showing you these pictures not to embarrass you, not to shame you, not to make you feel guilty about anything, but I'm showing you these pictures because these pictures must be discussed now, right? We carry a heavy burden about what these photographs mean and their impact on our culture. So I'm going to talk about them a little bit. These people are looking at this woman. Her name is Laura Nelson. And I have been affected by this picture for almost 10 years, right? This is not who Laura Nelson is. This is what a photographer and these people who stand on the bridge did to her. You know why Laura Nelson was put in this situation? It's because she tried to protect her son, who I eliminated from this photograph. This photograph is much more complex. About 20 yards to Laura Nelson's left is her son hanging from the same bridge. And you know why they hung her? It's because she tried to protect him. And they said, Laura, we're going to hang you. She said, let me go put on my dress. She has her wedding ring on. She wanted to be seen a certain way. Her indissoluble femininity comes through this photograph to me. These people are looking at Frank Embry. You know what Frank Embry's crime was? Frank Embry broke a shovel for the person that he was working for. And so they decided, we're going to make an example of Frank Embry. We're going to show him this is how we do it. We're going to show him, we're going to punish him. This was the moral and legal responsibility of these people. This is what they felt they had to do. And then this next photo, right? This is Jesse Washington, who in 1916, by 15,000 Waco, Texas residents abandoned their homes and farms, closed their businesses, took their children from school to take pleasure in the torture and burning of this young boy. Now, the lynching photographs that these are obviously a part of circulated through the United States mail system for maybe close to 75 years, right? And these photographs, which I really call the media, they're the media of their time, these photographs were disseminated to every corner of the country. Every corner of the country, this lawlessness, because that's what it was, lawlessness, right? This is what people felt, again, was their legal and moral responsibility. In the early days of the country, the open-air killing of people of color, particularly black people, right, was considered the responsibility of good, God-fearing Americans. This was what they did, right? And there were no discussions about these photographs. There were no discussions about the moral implications of mob murder. There were no discussions. There were no Sunday morning sermons where the pastor said, these lynchings are an affront to God, a sin. There was nothing said that would help them recalibrate their moral compass, let alone words of comfort for the grieving family of the victim, right? Okay, so these are from the past. This is lynching from the past, and we can take a deep breath and we can be happy to know that this isn't happening in this way now, right? Let's move on, because I think we have to look deeply into these photographs. This is a little girl, about 13 years old. These are possibly her sisters. This little girl in the middle is clutching a bottle, right? This is what their parents or responsible adults brought them to see. This little boy, right? You could see him in the corner there. He was brought to this event, to the lynching and burning of Willie Davis. These people, these young kids were brought to the lynching of Liggy Daniels, right? So my question is this, and this is the question for all of us. What purpose is served by bringing children to these events? What purpose could be served by bringing children to these events, right? No doubt, some of the children recoiled from the hideous sight of mangled bodies and the stench of burning flesh, right? But it is also possible, we must come to terms with this, it is also possible that other children rejoiced at the secret initiation into the world of adults, right? So my question is, who did these children grow up to be? Because this is not ancient history in America. The last recorded lynching was about 45 or 50 years ago, right? So it's fair to ask, who did they grow up to be? And what is their relationship to people of color, to black people today? All right? Think about that as we go on. The noose remains a powerful symbol of intimidation, right? And how in the world does a noose get on Golf Week magazine? It's almost laughable, right? How does a noose end up on Golf Week magazine? Or more specifically, locally, there's a trucking company here called Loose Ends. It's a vending company, brings candies and delights to schools and businesses and organizations. Their motto is, "We don't leave you hanging," and they have taken on the noose as a motto, as a icon, as a logo, right? And that's a harmless depiction of that particular motif. But I got to tell you, for some people, this noose still carries weight. It carries powerful weight, and it tells a powerful story. There were so many noose sightings in the second term of President Bush, right, that he was forced to make a public statement. Bush said that the era of lynching in American history is a shameful chapter, and the noose should not be used in jest. So we move forward. We elected and re-elected Barack Hussein Obama to be the 44th president of the United States. Yet, the modern day result of lynching is not the killing of people by rope, right, in an open air market or in an open setting in a courtyard. The modern day lynching is legislative, and it is moral, and it is through policy. And what do we mean by that? Policy. Policy that leaves one group, that sets one set of agendas that favor one group, and the same agenda that does not favor another group, that fails and disenfranchises them. I'm going to give you a few examples. Right here in Rochester, New York, ACT Rochester, an organization that compiles data on the health of the community, says that the concentration of poverty in Rochester, New York is a public policy decision, resulting in the highest rate of childhood poverty in the nation, right? The school district, Rochester City School District, with a 65% African-American student body population and a 9% graduation rate for black boys and Latin boys, this is a travesty. This is a modern-day lynching. The infant mortality rates in the city of Rochester for black children are 269% higher than for children born to white women. These are the modern-day lynchings. When Rochester and Monroe County legislate and operationalize policies that force people to live in failing communities, crime-infested, poor health care, the lack of resources, failing schools, this is the modern-day lynching, right? And I'll leave you with this. We can do better than this. We can do better than this. That's the good news. That's really what I want to concentrate on. That's the good news. We can do better than this. Because, after all, we are Americans, and Americans can solve whatever problems Americans put their mind to. We can have quality schools for all people if we set our mind to doing that, right? We can have employment opportunities for everyone with a chance to have financial stability and prosperity. We can do that. We can deliver healthcare systems for all people if we act on the ideas that promote the greater good, right? The greater good, Mill's principle of utility. Act on the greater good. Everyone benefits. Let's make that our moral and legal responsibility today. I thank you so much for listening.